Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Let's go to Blaine Holt, General Blaine Holt on, and let's see if he's heard anything different.
Yeah, no, you're tracking what I'm tracking, and I really appreciate you pulling me in this morning. Leave it to President Trump to create leverage where there was none. We're going to have the straits opened up now. I'm kind of laughing at a lot of these oil speculators who went short on oil, and they're waking up to a really rough day.
General Holt, you're a military guy, not a business person, but can you help us get ahead of what you know is going to be the crazy, uninformed narrative from the Democrats today? They're going to say, oh, this is Trump chickening out again. He gave them an ultimatum. I mean, do they not understand negotiation, that you ask for something, you pressure for something, and then you make a deal? I mean, General, that's also a military concept, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and I don't want to be argumentative, but I am the CEO of a startup.
Okay, fantastic.
So here's where we're at. I'm with Judge Weinberg on this one. And that's probably where the arguments against the president are going to go, because everybody's going to get out in front of their skis and say, well, that means the president's going to leave this regime in place, and that means we're going to have revenge-minded mullahs for the rest of our lives. I'm not sure that's in the offing, Judge, but I do take your counsel. This is my concern, is that we can't let them negotiate their way back into power. They can negotiate their way to airline tickets and maybe owning a 7-Eleven somewhere, but nothing better than that. The Iranian people do need to be freed.
Go ahead, Judge.
Absolutely, General. And the problem is you had all these thousands of people being slaughtered by this regime. Are we really going to say to the world that we sold out these people when Trump told them, we have your back, help is on its way?
No, we can't. We can't do that. And I really don't think President Trump's going to go there, but I do think that these critical days right now, if this is the breathing space to allow the regime to take a knee and get oil moving, and more importantly, get fertilizer byproducts or fertilizer precursors moving through the straits. That's job number one.
Why is that so important, John? Could you tell our audience why that's so important?
I sure can, because it's planting season in the third world. Africa has to have that material right now to create potash fertilizer. And in the food supply chain, that food that they grow goes to European grocery stores. By the fall, you would see bare grocery shelves if we don't get that fertilizer going. I know that sounds hyperbolic, but it's not. It's exactly where the crisis is right now, because Australia's number one fertilizer producer just went down for 2 months, and they need to get that product out of there too.
Once again, if you're just joining us, the breaking news: President Trump just posting on his Truth Social account that there have been productive discussions to end all hostilities between the U.S. and Iran and the U.S.-Iran war. And he is ordering the U.S. military to postpone the attacks on the Iranian power grid that the president had threatened to do at 8 p.m. tonight, so 13 hours from now. And that is sending oil prices down. We're down to $88 a barrel now on U.S. crude. We were at almost 100 just about an hour ago. And we're also seeing the Dow futures expected to open well over 1,000 points. Of course, the Wall Street reaction is just the immediate reaction, as the Judge Weinberg just made it clear. This is a longer game, and Wall Street reacts to things minute by minute. But Ed Cox, this is now sounds like this was what got some things moving on the Iranian side. President Trump threatening to go after their power grid may have opened a dam here.
Breaking news on Dow futures. You ready?
Yeah.
Dow futures are up 1,123 points. The S&P is up 161 points. And the NASDAQ is up only 600 points.
And government bond yields are going down.
Right. That's another big thing. We've seen mortgage rates go up so much since this war started, making me cry.
Can I report it to the Senator Schumer and to Hakeem Jeffries?
Yeah.
Trump made it happen again.
Yeah, I think so. Ed Cox, this could be a major political triumph.
It could. He's going to negotiate. We'll see what happens.
Right.
He's done this before. He held up in his first administration an attack on Iran's refineries in retaliation for what Iran did to Saudi Arabia refineries. And with 10 minutes to go, he halted them. And instead, he took out Soleimani later, which was a much better move and a much bigger threat.
Yeah, and we bring you the truth here on Talk Radio. We bring you the truth here on Talk Radio 77. And honestly,
as a matter of fact, did you say we had the news before Fox had it?
Fox still doesn't have it. I'm sorry, a little selfish self-promotion.
Super breaking news.
Yeah,
and Fox is pretty good usually.
Yeah. Milton Friedman.
Usually Trump calls Fox to tell him what's going to happen.
That's right. In the memory of Milton Friedman, the Nobel Prize winning economist, some of the greatest achievements in lifetime have been achieved by selfish self-promotion, and Fox still doesn't have it. You're hearing it live here on Talk Radio 77 WABC. George Venizelos. Still, though, of course, we're worried about terror attacks. Yeah. We're worried about all these kinds of things here. Head on a swivel. Still, we're not here to prematurely celebrate.
100%, and people can't forget Iranians are the number one source of terrorism around the world, and there's all going to be a lot of sympathetic people to what happened in Iran, and we have to be on high alert constantly. New York, we're on high alert constantly, but the rest of the country, the rest of the world has to be on high alert.
General Holt, want to talk a little bit about what was being threatened. Now it seems like it's off the table, but we still should talk about it, which is this threat from President Trump to hit the Iranian power grid. As soon as that happened, you had a bunch of people yelling, oh, that would be a war crime, that's a civilian target. But a number of legal ethicists came out after that to say, if, for example, General, a nation is using its civilian power grid to power weapons and attacks on other civilians, it's not a war crime, correct?
That's correct. As long as that is the case, it's just very hard with a power grid not to hurt the civilian population. And I know that President Trump understood all that from our folks over at the Pentagon. But what he was doing was creating leverage. And what we also learned through this whole thing is that the mullahs actually believe him anytime he makes a threat. So he's commanding respect there in Tehran. That's for sure.
General, also just...
I think when Trump makes a threat anywhere right now, they said, oh, crap.
Yeah. Well, we have Ed Cox here, and Ed Cox knows that it was President Nixon who wanted to project that kind of a reputation. There were times when he told Kissinger, I want the Russians to think, I don't know what's going to happen with this guy. This guy could do anything. And Trump seems to achieve that, right, Ed?
Right. At the end of the Yom Kippur War, the Moscow said, okay, we're going to send troops to help our Arab friends, and President Nixon went to DEFCON 3. That means that's the highest alert. That means you can use nuclear weapons. And guess what? Moscow backed off.
Yeah.
Trump's doing the same thing here.
Yeah. General, how does the military, how did top officers in the military respond to this kind of stuff? Because this is a quick pivot. I don't think this offends you in any way if you're in the military, but how do you do that? You just wait for direction and then you follow orders? Is that what goes on?
No, that's right. But you also anticipate the optionality that the president has before him, and you're going to get yourself prepared in each of those directions. What I think our top military officers appreciate is strategy, and that he takes counsel well from our generals. That's what he does.
Do you have any idea? The statement from President Trump is the U.S. and Iran have had, quote, very good talks over the past 2 days. Do we have any idea who he's talking to? Because all accounts are that Mojtaba Khamenei, the supposed supreme leader, we have even more reports now, even from liberal news sources, that he's completely incapacitated. So do you have any idea who he's talking to? Who is he talking to?
Well, best speculation I can give you, there's either an intelligence operative there or it's going to be Pezeshkian, the president who tried to quit and was not allowed to quit. But it could also be that we're working through an intermediary in Qatar, because Qatar has all the contacts there.
That probably would explain a lot. And Qatar, of course, has a lot riding on this because so much of their infrastructure has been hit. Sometimes when the intermediary suddenly has some major skin in the game, things can happen. John, we're looking at, again, breaking news here. I just want to reset for those who are just joining us. This has been a morning with major breaking news. Of course, the breaking news story that we first started with was big enough. A crash at LaGuardia Airport, an Air Canada regional jet with 76 passengers crashing into a Port Authority fire truck, killing the pilot and the co-pilot, and LaGuardia Airport shut down. They're saying at least until 2 p.m. I'm hoping that's as long as it is, but the complete shutdown, and of course we're trying to figure out what happened there. Then, just about 3 minutes ago, the announcement from President Trump that there have been successful, or at least encouraging discussions with Iran over ending all hostilities, and we had this big jump in our stock futures and a big drop in the price of oil. John, no dull moments today.
No dull moments. I mean, we had overnight the problem with LaGuardia, and General Blaine Holt is an expert on aviation, and he wanted to say a few words.
Yeah, tell us what your take is on this crash, General.
Well, so first off, there is no reason for an accident like this to happen, meaning somebody is at fault with procedures and process and training. And it's terrible that we've lost the 2 pilots out of this thing. But my early indication when I see the airport is shutting down until 2 in the afternoon today, that probably tells me they're taking a safety stand down. They're going through all the training records. That probably means anybody who's able to drive a truck out there is getting a good look. And that's not to suggest that this truck driver did anything wrong in the fire truck, but that they're taking that much time before they reopen the airport. They're going through personnel records right now. I'm fairly confident.